thank you for joining us today. My name is Jolene Olson. I'm the Administrative Director for the TechCharts service. You could contact me by filling out the Contact Us form on the website. I can help you with any questions regarding your membership or the TechCharts service. For our webinar today, I'd like to welcome Axel Kabar of TechCharts.
Hello.
Hi, welcome Axel. And I'd also like to welcome Peter Brandt of Factor Trading.
Hello, thanks Jolene, and thanks everybody for joining us today.
Wonderful, thanks Peter. If you have any questions for Axel regarding TechCharts, please write them in your questions panel that's at the bottom of your GoToWebinar control panel. Axel will be addressing the most frequently asked questions at the end of our webinar. Now I would like to turn this over to Axel.
Thank you, Jolene, and thank you, Peter, for joining me on this webinar today.
Well, of course, Axel. I know you launched your long-awaited service. Congratulations for that. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for your new service, and it's been an honor for me and for the Factor to be able to help you out any way that we can, and we'll continue to do so.
Yes, thank you, Peter. The initial launch has been overwhelmingly successful, and I'm very thankful for that. I wanted to host this public webinar for anyone who was interested in the TechCharts service to hopefully answer any questions you might have before joining. Or if you have already joined, thank you. This might help with any additional questions you might have about my global equities report.
Say, Axel, just give us an example. What kind of markets will you be covering in your service?
I will be covering global equity markets in the developed and emerging world. Today, there are 60 major stock exchanges in the world with a total value of $69 trillion. 93% of global stock value is divided between 3 continents. And this infographic clearly shows how important it has become to be globally focused to take advantage of the developing trends in different parts of the world. So basically, it's going to be emerging market equities and developed market equities across the continents will be covered in the Global Equity Markets Report.
Axel, can you just show us an example of what members to your TechCharts service might expect in your Global Equities Report?
Sure, Peter. Here are some of the charts that I shared with TechCharts followers over the past few months. And these are the before and after charts of those chart pattern developments and the breakouts that took place. This is an ascending triangle in Japan. The company's name is EN Japan, and it formed a year-long ascending triangle here with a clear horizontal boundary. The alert was issued here right before the breakout was taking place as a watch list, and then after the breakout took place, another breakout alert was issued, and the stock reached its chart pattern price target in a couple of weeks. Another example is a chart that I really liked. This is a multi-scale chart. It's again an ascending triangle example on Logitech. When you have these type of tight consolidation ranges, usually the breakouts are very strong, and that's what happened with Logitech. A massive move followed right after the breakout. And TechCharts followers were able to capture this because they were alerted on several platforms. Another chart is from Hong Kong. As you can see, we have different charts from different countries and different regions. This is Hong Kong, a rectangle continuation on SSY group. So the stock formed a 10-month long rectangle with, again, a well-defined horizontal boundary and a perfect trading range. The breakout took place here. The rectangle chart pattern price target was around 3.2. And again, it took a couple of weeks for the stock to reach its chart pattern price target. Even though it pulled back, it was eventually reached its chart pattern price target. Another example, a perfect rectangle continuation, similar to what we have seen in Hong Kong. This time, it's a stock from Switzerland. Another chart pattern that has a well-defined horizontal boundary that was tested several times. So these are basically the same points that I highlight on my charts that I post on the website. is that they should have horizontal boundaries. These are the best setups, and the horizontal boundaries should be tested several times, showing that there's a clear resistance there and a breakout is taking place right after that. So the breakout takes place, and TechCharts followers and members receive an alert, and then the stock reaches its chart pattern price target in a couple of weeks. Another perfect example of rectangle continuation, as you can see, this is again another well-defined horizontal chart pattern, a 4-month long rectangle that has clearly broken out and reached its chart pattern price target. This is a stock from France, Alstom. Another index breakout, rectangle continuation, DAX, that broke out and reached its chart pattern price target. This was also a perfect case of several tests of horizontal boundary around 10,800 levels. Another chart, again a rectangle, this time Oracle Corp from US, New York Stock Exchange, a perfect breakout from a horizontal trading range. This time the stock not only broke out of the rectangle, it also cleared the downward sloping trend line that has been intact for 2 years. So when we have two types of signals like this, it's even giving more conviction, and we definitely send out an alert on these type of situations that uh, TechCharts followers read this on the watch list, but here is the breakout that is taking place. So the rectangle chart pattern price target was around 46, and the price reached there in a couple of weeks. Another continuation rectangle, this time a stock from Singapore, a 5-year long sideways consolidation, was broken on the upside with a launching pattern of 16-month long rectangle. So these are very long-term chart patterns. When these type of chart patterns form on the price charts, they're significant, and it really needs people's attention, because usually major long-term trends follow after these type of breakouts, as you can see in the case of Venture in Singapore. Another stock for a long-term breakout, this was a year-long rectangle that acted as a base formation. And look at how the horizontal boundary was tested several times over the past, during this 1-year period. And the breakout took place, and on this week, an alert was issued. And following that, a massive uptrend followed. Even though the stock's rectangle chart pattern price target was around 7.7, I usually draw attention that those type of major consolidation periods that break out on the upside can extend beyond chart pattern price targets. Another chart pattern that broke out on the upside, a cup with handle formation. These are bullish continuation chart patterns. This is a stock from UK FTSE, Cineworld Group. The common characteristic is again a horizontal boundary that was tested several times, and a breakout week that has closed at the highest level. Stock, even though it took almost 10 weeks to 11 weeks, it reached its chart pattern price target uninterrupted in a steady uptrend. If you look at the next example, another cup with handle that is still continuing right now towards its chart pattern price target, a perfect cup with handle, similar to what we have seen before. This time, Ryanair Holdings in UK FTSE index. If you look at another example that was alerted to TechCharts followers, this is Tamburi from Italy. Common characteristic, horizontal boundary, several times tested, and a perfect bullish continuation chart pattern. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder forming. The breakout is taking place. Members are being alerted, and the price is reaching its chart pattern price target in a couple of weeks. Another perfect head and shoulder continuation chart pattern, similar to Tamburi, same chart pattern, same horizontal boundary, this time taking place in a US equity, not Italy. So by looking at global equities, we have the capability to find those repetitive chart patterns and to take advantage in those type of situations, because we expect what will come next from those type of chart patterns, a breakout and reaching its chart pattern price target. The chart pattern price target calculation is given on the reports also. Another chart pattern that broke out on the upside is a head and shoulder bottom, this time on lumber liquidators. the stock, even though it pulled back to its chart pattern boundary around 1983 to its chart pattern price target in a couple of weeks. And then another head and shoulder bottom we have here is MGM China from Hong Kong. It's a gaming company that has formed a massive head and shoulder bottom, year-long head and shoulder bottom. The breakout took place. TechCharts members were alerted, and then a pullback took place, and then the price reached its chart pattern price target. We have different types of symmetrical triangles. Obviously, symmetrical triangles are usually found as continuation chart patterns, but when they appear as reversal chart patterns, we take into notice and we also issue an alert. A symmetrical triangle as a reversal appeared on OMV Energy Company. This is in Austria, in European exchanges. So the alert was issued at this breakout week, and stock price reached its chart pattern price target. This was a good energy play after breaking out of 8-month-long symmetrical triangle. Another symmetrical triangle, continuation this time, a company from Norway, when the energy prices started moving higher and stocks were breaking out, two teams basically broke out on the at the same time. This time, Kverner completed 8-month-long symmetrical triangle. As I find those opportunities around the globe, I will be alerting TechCharts members to those breakouts, and they will also be included in the watch list so they can monitor at the same time before the breakouts take place. These will all be included in the weekly global equity market report.
That's fabulous. Thank you, Axel. And longtime Factor members know how near and dear to my heart is the rectangle and ascending triangles, and the idea of horizontal patterns. It's wonderful to see that. I look at all of these markets that you have on your screen right now, Axel. It's many, many markets. Tell us a little bit about the process you go through to select the charts that you're going to feature.
Well, Peter, it's the oldest technique. It's the eyeballing technique. By going through basically thousands of charts every week, I handpick the best chart pattern developments. After doing this every week and every day for a couple of years, you get the habit of scanning quickly through the charts. I enjoy doing this. Discovering these opportunities are always exciting.
Well, thanks. And hey, please get to your questions in. If you haven't asked a question, you're probably going to run out of time. We'll probably take the questions that have already been asked. But if you got some quick ones, please ask them for Jolene to field them. Factor members know that, and people who visit the Factor blog know that Axel's been again a guest poster on the Factor public site in the last week or so, and we'll continue to post some of the things that Axel does in the future. I greatly appreciate Axel's approach to charting. I'm a classical chartist. I look at most charts today in the blogosphere, and they don't resemble some of the basic principles of classical charting, and yet we have Axel here who is devoted to the classical rules, the classical principles, and besides that, the clarity of his charts are wonderful. White backgrounds and clean lines and cleanly drawn chart pattern identifications. I love that about the charts you post and the charts that are in your new service, Axel. By the way, for those of you who haven't seen them, Axel has posted some fabulous videos on patterns, on the head and shoulders, on the triangles, on the rectangles, where it's just very, very instructional stuff. And he takes you through exactly what is the various patterns, how do they form, what are the implications, how does one think about them, and it's just a tremendous value. Factor has devoted itself to classical charting and forex and futures, and what a wonderful companion TechCharts is to what we do at Factor. With Axel taking a look globally at equity markets and just the best of patterns. He's got a huge universe to look for, but it's wonderful to be able to then focus on these kinds of patterns in global equity markets. And so it's a great service for a factory to pull alongside too, and help promote and to highly recommend. So, Axel, let's just go ahead here now. And you've had a number of questions that have been come in, and
Yes, sure, Peter. So one of the questions that is asked is looking over your blog site. I see that you're planning to update your charts every Saturday. Will this continue, or do you plan on changing the chart updates? No, this will continue. As soon as the markets close on Fridays, I basically start compiling my work that I have started a few days before even. And Saturday by midday, the report will be sent out. However, during the week, if there is any other important development, I plan to send out interim updates with possible breakouts that can take place. Or I'm also planning to do video updates if there are more than few charts that are breaking out. So this will be easier for the TechCharts member to view quickly on any platform they wish. So the other question is, what trading platform do you use to trade in multiple international markets? This is basically a brokerage question. Just I need to tell everyone that I'm not licensed to advise or suggest any brokerage services. So members would need to do their own due diligence to search for the best brokers that offer the best rates and the best platform. So this is something that members should do a little bit of research on. However, there are several retail brokers in different countries that cover 80 to 90% of the charts that I post on TechCharts blog, and this is a single platform. Some of the emerging markets charts I post are basically for some of the fund managers that follow TechCharts website. These people obviously have their own setup to trade the markets. But other than the small emerging markets, 80 to 90% of the charts I post and I analyze are tradable through platforms. Okay, another question. With the new service, will Axel show where and how he sets stops? Now, stops, and if not stopped out, will he stop himself out of it, comes back and starts to consolidate near his entry? Classical charting fascinates me. So with the stops, we often get specific questions related to the chart patterns featured by TechCharts, and the questions are including but not limited to: where would you enter the security? Where would you put your stop loss after the breakout? How do you determine how many shares of X security to purchase? We want to be of assistance to all followers of TechCharts, but providing specific advice on trading tactics would place our firm into possible violation of the regulatory authorities in numerous jurisdictions. Even without regards to regulatory matters, trading tactics must be subject to individual investors' level of capitalization, investment goals, risk tolerance, time schedules, and other factors. TechChart's mission is to identify certain classical chart configurations in global equity markets and to educate followers on the finer points of classical chart construction. Another question is, will there be educational videos for the members? Yes, I have already produced 8 major classical chart patterns that will be featured in the global equity market report. These will be uploaded to the website. These are perfect examples of classical chart pattern breakouts, and it will help you while you're following the global equity market to understand the logic behind each and every chart pattern. And added to these 8 videos, there will constantly be a new video series to explain different conditions in chart pattern developments. Some of the chart patterns will fail. These will explain how do they fail, at what level do they fail. Some of the chart patterns will not fail, but it will take longer for them to reach their price target. These will also be included in the videos to explain each and every situation so that TechCharts members will be ready for a different type of market environment. Okay, another question is, what's the percentage breakdown of the markets you cover? Americas, developed and emerging, are 40%. Europe, again, developed and emerging is 25% of the universe. And Asia, developed and emerging, is total of 35%. Okay, another question is, what charting software do you use? The charting software I'm using is Metastock, and Metastock uses Thomson Reuters as a data provider. They are a powerful platform that you can use to follow global financial markets, do fundamental research, and advanced technical analysis. I've been using their software from the time I started my career in 2001.
Well, yeah, let me just make a point on some of these global markets. We're all familiar in the U.S. And the major European markets with high frequency trading, and of course, one of the questions I get answered a lot, and Axel does as well, is how do markets chart today compared to how markets would chart 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago or so? And I think we both acknowledge that the craft of charting is a little bit more nuanced today than it was in the past. But the interesting thing about some of the smaller markets is that, as well as some of the smaller equities in the U.S., is they tend to chart better. The less the high frequency trading operations get involved in a particular equity name, we have found that the better those charts tend to respond to the classical rules. So, one question for you, Axel, that I've received from people often is, do you trade the short side as well as the long side of equities? Will there be situations where you will lay out a bearish case based on the charts?
Yes, definitely, Peter. As the market conditions change, not only breakouts will be reported, breakdowns will be reported too. Actually, we have produced some videos that showcase the bearish setups, what kind of bearish setups that people can expect during the breakdowns of those stocks. It's in our YouTube channel, and people can view those. And definitely, when the market conditions reverse to the downside, there will be more and more breakdowns, and these will all be reported as chart pattern breakdowns. Yes, I have received more questions. What percent of recommendations do you expect will be within the US? Well, this will depend on the market conditions. If there is a momentum market in the US equities, there will be more breakouts, and obviously, I will be able to pick more chart patterns that are breaking out in the US market. This will definitely depend on the market conditions. There will be a time where emerging markets rally, and we will have more breakouts in emerging markets. And those emerging market securities are listed also in developed markets. There are dual listings, so these stocks will be reported also. For example, some of the Chinese stocks are also listed in Hong Kong. In Singapore, you will be able to find those emerging market stocks also. So these will be followed and reported. Another question is, what percent of recommendations do you expect will be ETFs? ETFs are part of the universe that I'm covering. So in US, there are 1,700 ETFs that I'm looking at. And those names obviously include the double, triple ETFs. If we reduce them, probably there are approximately 500 to 600 good liquid ETFs that will be covered. It will depend on again the market condition. If there are breakouts on these ETFs, they will be featured. For example, last week's report covered South Korea, and I was able to put the ETF on South Korea, EWY, on the report.
Let me ask you another question here, Axel. We know that you're going to be putting out your weekend, your Saturday report, which will kind of summarize everything you're doing. What if there's a major breakout of a market you've been watching during the middle of the week? Will you be sending out any special emails or any alerts on those to the members of your service?
Yes, yes, definitely, Peter. The planned way of doing this is with interim updates, and if possible, and if the market conditions are requiring a video update that will cover several stocks that are breaking out.
Super. Hey, talk a little bit about what qualifies as a valid breakout. That kind of brings you back to Edwards and McGee rules, but I think it's important for people to understand how you look at a market in terms of what constitutes a pattern completion and a breakout.
Yes. So the pattern breakout, when I look at the chart patterns, I like to see these horizontal boundaries, and the more they are tested, the better it is. And when you look at the weekly charts, your eye is easily picking those chart patterns on the weekly scale period. So a breakout from these horizontal boundaries needs to close 3% above the horizontal boundary. A daily close by 3% margin is a confirmation of the breakout.
Okay, so it's a standard 3% rule that
Yes.
Edwards and McGee's lay out. And those people not familiar with the Edwards and McGee book, or perhaps you're not familiar with charting but want to be familiar with charting, the two books that Axel and I both recommend would be the Edwards and McGee book, no later than edition number 6. There's a number of editions that have come out in recent years. We do not recommend that. So it'd be preferably edition 5 of the Edwards and McGee book, Technical Analysis and Stock Market Trends. And then really the predecessor to that book is by Richard W. Schaubacher, Technical Analysis and Stock Market Profits. And that really is the original Bible that lays out the classical principles that both Axel and I follow. Another question, you talk about eyeballing. Do you use any sort of mechanism, mechanical type of scanning devices other than just kind of an eyeball approach as you look through and convert from your long to short list?
There is a process that goes before picking those chart patterns, and that is basically the stocks should be in low volatility periods. The low volatility period means that there's a breakout is likely to happen in the near future, and this breakout would possibly result in a trend period. So that low volatility condition has to be there for the stocks. Other than this, it's basically going through the charts and looking at one by one, spending a couple of seconds basically after doing this for several years now, and trying to pick those well-defined trading ranges on the charts.
Well, thanks, Axel. And, just my comment is I've been trading these markets since 1974, 1975, and been a chartist for many decades. And I just appreciate the dedication you have to classical charting. You've become one of the masters of classical charting and its principles as applied to financial markets. And it's wonderful for the Factor and myself to highly recommend your service. One more question, then we'll kind of wrap this up, Axel. In addition to the classical charting principles, do you look at any oscillators, any of the other standard indicators that are available out there?
No indicators. I sometimes limit even looking at volume. It's pure price action and pure trend lines. Because you have so many markets to look at, so many stocks to select from, and it's not very difficult to find those chart patterns over and over again in different equity markets.
Well, hey, Axel, it's been a real pleasure. I know it's getting late there over in Bulgaria. We're going to need to let you get on with your evening, and but it's been a pleasure to be able to join you on this webinar today.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for joining us today. I hope this answered any questions you had about the TechChart service. For our 10-day launch, we are offering a special founding rate. Please visit techcharts.net for more details. I hope you decide to join TechCharts, and if you have already joined, thank you again.
Again, thank you for joining us today. I hope we've answered all of the questions you had regarding the TechCharts service. If not, please go to our website, techcharts.net. In the upper right-hand corner, you can fill out the Contact Us form, and we'd be happy to address any of the questions you have. If you're interested in TechCharts service, I highly recommend joining us for this 10-day launch period so you could get in on that special founding members rate. And if you've already joined the service, we look forward to a long relationship with you. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.